Hello. Hi,
Hi,
Shari. How
y'all.
are you? How are you doing?
Melting. I
I
still feel like I'm
understand.
melting.
Same way here. So,
Yep.
hello, beautiful beings in chat. I know so far we just have Swampy, but that's all right
That's
because
okay.
the notification hasn't gone yet. Everybody's having a show today.
I'm telling you, it's like everybody and their brother's been on. It's like at one
Everybody.
point I had like 5 notifications come across this morning. Just as
And
I was getting ready to leave for a funeral, and I was like, well,
all at the
dang,
same
I'm
time.
I'm
Yes.
missing everybody.
So,
I hate it when they all hit at once too, because it's like, well, who'd I watch? I mean, so it's like I'll actually have like 3 or 4 that'll all be open, and I'll mute everybody, and I'll just kind of pop from one to the other, unmute, listen for a
right.
few minutes, then go back. So, hi, Susan, and Manasseh's here. Hi,
Manasa
Manasseh.
says the notification just popped. There's
Very
Janet
good.
Lee, Susan Beckett. Um, did we miss? We didn't miss Swampy. Swampy's here. All right. So,
Yay!
how is your Saturday going?
Hectic. It's been a day.
You've been very busy today.
I had a friend call last night who was very upset, and I
Mhm.
was on the phone with her until like 2 o'clock this morning. So it was 3:30 before I finished cleaning the kitchen and got into bed, and then I overslept. So I was running around like crazy this morning trying to get dressed because I did a show with Gertrude Shue on her channel. And then after I finished that, then I had to go finish getting dressed for the funeral, and then I had to go to the funeral. And then I came back, and then I got a notice go pick up the dog food. It was ready to pick up, so I had to go jump in the car and run get that, and got back here like at a quarter after 5. I'm like, oh crap, I'm running late. So I'm still melting. I haven't cooled off yet.
Um,
Which
I think that Gertrude is a lovely woman,
yes,
and I'm going to see if I can get her on my show. Maybe
just
next week.
ask her. She is more than willing to go.
I
Um,
have I have next week open, and I thought I was going to have jury duty the week after, but I don't. They disqualified me for something they've never disqualified me for before. So I said, okay, I will take that. and I'm going to enjoy not having to sit in the jury box.
oh yeah, I've always managed to talk my way out.
I have the close. I have gotten very close to being seated, but I wasn't this time. Manasa, I would love to have you on my show. I cannot find your email, so
I think
if
I've got it.
if you want to send me your email, my email is um, in the show notes at the
Yeah, but I
bottom.
think I've got her email. Let me look real quick, and I can send it to you. Let me.
I was thinking last week, or maybe even the week before, how do I get Manasa on my show?
I've got it. I've got her email. I'll send it to you.
Okay, great. And Manasa said she'd send it too. I would love to have you come on my show. There are a few. I sent Jay one, but I don't think he knew it was me because it
Yeah,
doesn't say Purple Elephant. It has my name on it. So
I think I
yeah,
get that too when people get emails from me because they see my full name. They don't see anything about Voices from the Swamp, so they're like,
right.
I don't know who this woman is.
And I sign with the Purple Heart and an elephant a lot of
Yeah,
times, so people know that it's me. So
right. Yeah, I've been. It's like I need to go ahead and set up an email account under my channel name,
I need
and then
to too. Hi,
and then
Karen.
that way I can start directing all the traffic just to that email.
That yes, and I'm not a business-minded person,
I'm
so
not either.
I just
I'm learning on the fly.
me too, me too.
and but because I sent out, I don't know, like 40, 50 invites to my channel anniversary coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about half of them have responded yes. And I'm like, holy crap. I wouldn't, I figured if 5 people said they could pop in, I'd be good. But
So, um,
I'm just,
I,
when I send the link out to everybody, I'm just going to tell them, I'm not asking you to stay the whole time. I'm not
just
asking you to be there right at
hop
6
on
o'clock.
and pop off.
I tried to schedule it. I tried to fix the time so it was kind of in between a lot of the bigger channels who are already running and ending and not quite started yet. So I figured that way, if somebody wants to pop in for 5 or 10 minutes before or after their own show, they can do so. Um,
So,
but
now I want
I
to
was
talk
thinking,
about your channelversary in a minute. Hi, Kelly.
okay.
Kelly's here too.
Hey, Kelly, happy late birthday. I missed your bonfire thing yesterday. We had all this crap with the funeral and all that stuff going on. And it was like,
I saw part of it, but I had to go to bed.
I got home and it was like, oh, wow, it's on. I missed it. And before I could get the computer up and going for it, my phone rang and I was on the phone with my friend until 2 a.m. talking her down. So,
Swampy says it's great to still be learning at my age. And I think it's great to still be learning at any age. It
yeah, I
doesn't.
think it's great to have the desire to want to learn at
Yes,
any age.
the desire.
Unfortunately, you start getting to women and men our age in their 60s and even in their 50s, and they're like, I don't need to learn anything else. I'm happy where I'm at. It's like,
Right.
but now you're just stagnant. You're not growing,
I think that's exactly it. It's learning keeps you young.
Oh yeah.
And
Without doubt.
it keeps your mind sharp. So, Shari, tell us a little bit about your spiritual journey. How did you um, how did you start on it? Were you a young bloomer
I
or
was going to say,
late
you want me to
bloomer?
go all the way back to the beginning?
If you want to, wherever you want to start.
I think, and I didn't know what was going on, but I think my family, all the women in our family have the gift, as they call it.
Right.
And it's not the same in any two people. Everybody's a little different. When I was around 4 or 5, I would hear an audible male voice talk to me, and think Darth Vader. That was the sound. That was the kind of voice it was. James Earl Jones, deep bass voice,
I actually wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear that voice again today, but he hasn't come back. So, but he would talk to me and I would talk back because I heard him just like I can hear you talking to me.
So you must
And
have
my
only
family
really
would,
needed him at that early age. You must have.
I don't know. I mean, I was a fairly happy child. I, I, I mean, we lived with my grandparents. My mom was a single parent. So I don't know if maybe it was stresses I picked up off my mother and didn't realize it. But I would hear this voice talk to me and I would talk back. And
Mhm.
somebody would walk into the room where I was at and they'd say, who are you talking to? And I'd say, God. And they go, oh, okay. And that was it. There was never any question, any doubt, any repercussions from that. Just oh, okay. Because I thought it was God. I was talking to God. God was talking to me. Don't ask me where I got that idea from, but that's what I felt like it was. And that voice stayed with me off and on until I was about, I think I was 8 or 9. And we moved to Florida. We lived in Texas. And we went to Florida. My mom had some friends there. And we went to go kind of visit, check it out, see if we liked it. And when we arrived, when we got to the friend's house, when we walked through the front door, the first words out of my mouth was, oh, I've been here before. And everybody's like, no, you haven't. I'm like, yeah, I've been here before. And everybody's like, no, you've never been here. You're in another state, And I proceeded to tell them where every room in the house was, whose room it was, what was in that room, full descriptions. And I remember my mother just looking at me and saying, "Oh, you got the gift." And that was it. That's all she said. It was never discussed. It was never an issue. It was, when I got older, I found out that she would have visions. She would see people die. She would see how they're going to die, especially if it was like a traumatic death. And she hated it, and she fought it. She didn't want to see it. She didn't want to have any part of it. And so it was. I think it was pretty rare when it happened. It was usually when it was something really drastic. Like she saw two pilots. She had a vision as they're sitting across the room from her. She had a vision of them in an airplane together, and the plane exploding in midair. These were two retired pilots. They were teachers on base. We lived next to the Air Force base. She was a bartender at the NCO club, and she saw them die in this plane. And she said this man just appeared out of nowhere at the end of the bar and just said, "Don't tell him what you saw." And she was like, "Where did this man come from?" Because to get to where he was, he would have had to have walked in front of her to get there.
Right.
One of those long L-shaped bars. And he was down at the end, and the door was on the other side. And she looked at him and said, "Excuse me." And he said, "Don't tell him what you've seen. Keep it to yourself." And so she turned around and she looked back at the two guys, and they're sitting there drinking and laughing and having a good time. And she turned back to ask him something. He was gone. He was not there. And so that kind of freaked her out. So she didn't say anything. The next day, they were on base. There was a new jet that had been brought to base to be test flown. And the pilot that they had scheduled to fly the plane, something happened. He wasn't there. Or he got sick or something. And these two gentlemen were there. And they said, "Well, we'll take it up, And the plane exploded in midair. And they both died. I mean, it was an instant death, but still. And I remember the only reason why I knew about it was because I heard her telling her sister about it, who also lived there. She was very upset, and it really struck me about, wow, this could be really powerful if you're not careful. And she regretted not saying something, and my aunt was telling her, you did the right thing. You shouldn't have told them. You did the right thing. You didn't tell them. And but and there were little things over the years that would happen, and she would kind of, shake it off. She didn't want to. She didn't want to have anything to do with it.
She didn't want to
But
know.
whenever I would have an experience, she would get all excited about it. Say, "Oh, that's great. Well, see if you can do it again." That kind of thing.
Do you think that she didn't like it in herself because she predominantly only saw the bad things?
I think so. I think it was because of what she saw. She didn't see happy things. She saw horrible things, like a disaster movie, full technicolor, sound, smell, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And it terrified her, I think, more than anything.
I probably shouldn't say bad things. I probably should. It's things that were destined to come to pass.
Right.
That weren't pleasant, not pleasant.
She
stuff.
just.
So do you feel like it was probably an angel that told her not to do that?
Absolutely.
Either one of
her guides or one of their guides that just appeared and said and told her, "Don't say anything,"
because it was
their destiny.
It was
to go at that time together. That's what my aunt told her. And so I just kind of absorbed that information and didn't do a lot with it. I just was like, wow, this can be some really powerful stuff. And I mean, over the year, when my husband and I were first together, before we had our son, we had met a couple that lived in the same complex as we were. And she was a witch, a hereditary witch. Her mother was a witch. Her grandmother was a witch. Her great-great-grandmother was a witch. She had one blue and one green eye. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world She had 2 different colored eyes. Um, and when we met, she was like, you're psychic. And I was like, no. She was like, no. She says, I'd like you to come and study with me and let me teach you about being a witch. And I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. I'd like to do that. Well, my husband freaked out. He was like, absolutely not.
He heard the W word.
Yeah, and he was pretty fairly open-minded about a lot of things, but there were some little things like something like that would come along.
I think
He
it
would,
frightens people, especially
yeah,
men. It
he didn't
frightens them.
believe in ghosts or spirits or anything like that.
Mhm.
And I would, there was a time we went to another friend's house. I didn't know them. He worked with a guy, and the guy and his wife invited us over to their house. And when we pulled up into the driveway, I just sat there and said, I can't go inside. And he's like, what? I'm like, I can't go in that house. There's something evil in that house. I can't go in there. And he got all mad. And I said, no, you have to take me home. You have to take me home right now. I said, I'm going to be sick. And so he went up and told them something or other about I got sick of the stomach. And he took me home. He was mad at me for days for that because I embarrassed him. I was
Right.
like, baby, I didn't mean to embarrass you, but you just don't know. And then a few weeks later, they came to our house, and she said, and the woman was sitting and talking to me, and she said, when y'all came over and you got sick, she said, did you feel like there was something wrong with that house? And I said, yeah. And she says, because I'll get up in the morning and all the knobs on the stove are on. It was a gas stove, no flame. The flames
Right.
had all been blown out, but just the gas would be on. It got to where they had turned the gas off at the line every night, or because all the stove handles would be turned on, and just weird crap would happen. And she was scared to live in that house. And when I told my husband that, he was just kind of like, okay. He just,
He didn't. Yeah, it didn't.
yeah, I mean, and I lived in a couple of haunted places growing up. We lived in a couple of places that had other inhabitants there that weren't really very cool.
Low
And when I was,
vibration.
yeah,
Low
we lived,
vibration beings.
we lived in one house that had, I think it was a poltergeist, but whatever it was not a nice person. It would hit my mother. I once watched her get thrown across the room, and I was the only one home with her. And I was sitting in the living room, and she was in the kitchen. And I watched her open the refrigerator door, and just like somebody had just pushed her with their hands against her chest. She just flew straight back, and just stunned. And I was like, what on earth? We didn't live in that place very long. We moved as soon as we could.
I
But
imagine.
there was but she would wake up in the morning and she'd have like bruises and cuts and scrapes on her and stuff. And um,
That's not fun.
no. And so I think because of that, I was always leery about the gift. It's like, if I got to go through that, I don't want anything to do with it. And then I met the girl that was the witch, and I thought, well, that was kind of cool, because she actually did like cast spells and stuff, and she had a cauldron, the whole bit. And I was like, wow, that's so neat. And then just over the years, little things would happen that I would just kind of pick up on and think, okay, that's not normal. That must be the gift coming through. And I just left it at that. And then after my mom passed away in June of 2019, like 6 months later, we were in lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly I was at home going stir crazy, couldn't go anywhere. Fortunately, I could still work, but because I could just, my boss sent me home with a computer and said, yeah, just do your job from home.
Right.
But I would sit and play on YouTube all day because I didn't have anything to do. Even though I was getting paid to work, I still didn't have anything to do.
Right.
And I came across Diane from Diane's Tarot,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw her video. I saw a video of hers. It just popped up on my feed one day, and I was like, political tarot. I didn't know such a thing existed, and I started watching her. I was really intrigued. And then from her, I found Sheila Celtic Tarot. And I was even more, I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then from there, I found Linda G. And I was like,
Mhm.
she blew my socks off. I was like, oh my goodness. And I don't remember who I went to after that, and I just watched for like the first good 6, 7 months that I started experiencing it. I just watched everybody. I didn't chat. I didn't talk to anyone. Nobody knew I was there.
Right.
And I would go in to Lisa and Sharon's Nasty Women Tuesday Lounge Tarot thing, And one day I'd had a really crappy day at work. And I came home and I had it on, and they were talking about bras and bra sizes. And it just got overwhelmingly up, popped into chat and said, wait till you got to lug around puppies like these and then complain about your bra. It's something smart ass. And I got them both laughing. And then after that, it was like anytime I showed up, everybody would talk to me and stuff. And I was discovering this whole community. It was like, wow, these people are fantastic.
A new station alert has arrived.
Oh, we got a new station alert. Got a
Well,
storm
if
coming.
you have to go,
No. It's just it's the local weather. And anytime
I don't want you to be unsafe. You have to keep
no.
yourself safe.
It's probably just a thunderstorm brewing. It's not a big deal.
So, well, I was going to interject that I did much the same thing as far as coming in and seeing, but not commenting or participating. And for me, it was Joyce All Knowing was the first one that popped up on my feed.
I like her too. Yeah.
And so from her, I found out about Linda G, and from there it went everywhere. And but it was. I think a lot of us have started that way, where we were just watching, and the right one popped up on our feed that needed to speak to us, and we eventually got involved.
Exactly.
And
Angela Cardamancy Mesquite, I had been active in chat, I guess maybe a month or two. And one of whatever chat, I don't even remember what chat we were in, but I had asked for a reading, and the reader said, you're psychic. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. And they're like, no, you're a psychic. And Angela messaged me in chat, and she said, send me your address. I'm going to send you some cards. And so she sent me my first deck of tarot cards. And just out of the kindness of her heart, and I got them and started playing with them, and it was like, it just felt right, And
was that the first time you ever had your hands on cards?
Yeah. I mean, regular playing cards, yeah, but that was play rummy and pinochle and stuff like that, not to play.
But not
to read,
to read.
I didn't know you could even read regular playing cards. I didn't find that out until I saw Marie's table, and she was using regular playing cards. I'm like, wow, I never knew you could do that. And
there are a few that do. I think Mel Dore reads regular playing cards too.
And there's somebody else
in the past, when I was a kid, I learned how to do it, but I couldn't do it now. I could if I studied again.
Yeah.
But
and that, I think, was my biggest drawback to really starting to push myself, was because I was so intimidated by, how am I going to learn all of this? It's just the people that I would watch on screen, it just seemed so flawless for them. It just seemed to flow. And I was like, I can't do that. But that was because I didn't know how to just open myself up to it. And I was worried that I would put the wrong meaning with the wrong card. I was taking it too seriously, I have to make sure
Well,
it's
and not being
exactly
intuitive. Once you get a foundation, then you
right,
can let yourself be intuitive.
right.
Cartomancy Mesquite said that she reads playing cards too, but a different
Uh,
system than most. And I know that that's what cartomancy means.
yeah, yeah. And
So that was, and that's
Angie's so sweet.
why
She's such
she
a sweet lady.
chose that name.
And she's such a sweet lady.
She
And
is.
but I and then Allie kind of popped into my radar
Hmm.
um from Heart and Soul Connected, and she invited me to come on the show and just introduce myself and talk about who I was, kind of like what we're doing right here.
Hmm.
And that was the first time I was on camera. And I remember my son got more excited about it than me. I was
Hmm.
just nervous, but he was like, "No, we gotta come in my room, and I'm gonna set you up at the computer." And he had like lights pulled out and diffused and fixed in the microphone. And I was like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm in a studio." And but once I kind of started talking, then it felt really cool. You know, it was like after I kind of got going, it was like, "This is fun. I like this." And I would watch Allie pull oracle cards, and some of the others every now and again would pull an oracle card, and I was really drawn to that. I kept thinking that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and so I started looking online to buy an oracle deck because I
Hmm.
didn't know. I mean, it's just like with tarot decks. There's a gazillion of them. Which one are you going to go with? And there's not a store nearby that I could go into
Right.
and just kind of see if I could get a feeling. And Allie had a giveaway on her channel right about that time. And she drew two names, one to win an oracle deck, one to win a tarot deck. And she put all the names of everybody that would chat in her chat. And her husband pulled names. And he pulled my name for an oracle deck. And so lo and behold, there became my first oracle deck. And when I got them, I was like, the minute I held them, I was like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to use. And I've since then I have like 8 or 9 oracle decks now, and I have to like hide my credit card for myself not to buy more whenever I see somebody with a neat deck and it's like, oh, I want that one. It's like I need to learn to read.
I
Oh my God.
I kind of have an advantage with that because I don't have a way to order anything online. So I have to go to the metaphysical store.
And see,
But
when I lived in Phoenix, there was one a few miles from the house in Scottsdale. And I used to go over there and just to go like get incense and stuff like that.
mhm.
And I would spend hours in that store. I would just walk around and just
Oh,
look at stuff and pick things up and hold
yes.
them. And I just, it just felt like I was supposed to be there. And,
This
but again, I didn't do anything with it because I didn't understand what it was that was drawing me. I didn't
you didn't,
connect the
yeah.
dots, you know?
And I think that a lot of us are being drawn out right now because we're all needed.
Yeah. Oh, without a
All
doubt.
we're all learning from each other, helping each other, training each other so that we can handle the influx that's about to happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and we are all needed.
Yeah. I think as the world becomes topsy turvy, the more it kind of tops and turves and freaks out, the more that we're going to be needed. I very strongly believe that. When I was in Phoenix, I lived like a couple of miles from one of the Indian reservations, and they had their own cigarette store on the reservation. And so we would go buy cigarettes there because they were cheaper. And I had gone in one time and they had put together a calendar for the new year coming up. And all the pictures in the calendar were from their local tribe
Mhm.
artist. And some were drawings, some were paintings, some were photographs, and they were put in. And so I had gone in to buy some cigarettes, and the guy behind the counter who knew me by that point was like, "Oh, hey, look, we got a new calendar. Take it home with you." And I'm like, "Oh, fantastic." And I got home with it, started flipping through the pictures, And one of the pictures just like reached out and grabbed me. It was like,
Mhm.
"We're your guides." I heard it as crystal clear. Wasn't the same voice as when I was a little boy, a little girl, but I was probably more like a boy than a girl at that age. I was very much a tomboy.
I
Um,
was a 13-year-old boy, so, and sometimes I still am. So,
yeah,
so
yeah. I've always said I should have been a guy. I just do better as a guy, you know. Um, but that picture just grabbed me. It was like, and I heard it. We're your guides. I didn't know what it meant, but I knew it was important. And so I wouldn't let anybody write on the calendar because I was afraid it would mess up that one picture in it. Well, after the year went by, my mom snuck the calendar out and she worked at Joann's in the framing department.
mhm.
And she took it and she had it matted and framed in this huge frame,
Oh,
uh, put it behind museum glass. I mean, she really went all out for it and then gave it to
no.
me for a birthday gift. And when she got really sick towards the end with the dementia, we had to take a lot of the pictures and stuff off of the walls because they would freak her out. And so when we moved last summer to the new place, I went into panic mode because I couldn't find my picture. And I was like freaking out because I was it's like, where's my spirit guides? I need my picture. And my son found it. It was wrapped in a blanket in a box so it wouldn't be messed up. Um, I must have done it. I don't remember doing it, but anyway, we found it. It was the first thing I hung when we got to the new places. I put my guides up on the wall. It was like, well,
Right.
you're where you belong now. So they're right over my bed, and I get to look at them every morning. I don't know their names. They haven't given me names. Maybe because I can't pronounce them. I don't know. Maybe that's why they haven't told me their names yet. But
I had a reading with Wisdom Seeker Joan, and she told me that one of my guides that came through um, had this hard to say biblical name,
mhm,
and she said that he said, "Just call me Hal," and that she heard, I can be your bodyguard, and you can call me Hal." So she heard that song in her head, but it was Hal instead of Al. So that's what I call him, and he's
I
my
hear
main guide.
Hal, and I hear Hal, and I think Space Odyssey 2000.
Yeah.
And the Korean, I work in computer science, so that's not a good
You know, they
correlation
chose
together.
they chose that name because it's one letter off of IBM.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they chose Hal. So
yeah,
so Hal is my main guide, and he's who I talk to most of the time.
yeah.
And he's the oldest. He's the one that's with me right now. He's with me right
Right,
here, and uh, leads me through whatever I need
right.
to say. So you may not even be able to say their names, but I'm sure if you ask them, you can either name them because they probably don't care. You can
Yeah,
either name them or they'll give you something to call them.
something to call them. Right now, I just look at them and say good morning. I leave it at that.
If that's what works, then
Uh,
that's what works.
last year, Susan Lynn, psychic medium, and Jen from Jen's World, they had done a thing in New Orleans. And when they were going back to Houston, where Susan's from, they had to drive through my city to get back. And so they stopped, and I got to meet them in person and have lunch with them. And when we had finished lunch and we were going outside to our cars, and Jen had like gone on ahead, she was already at the truck,
Mhm.
and Susan was kind of hanging back with me, and we're talking. And she turned around to look at me, and she kind of her eyes got real big and she took a step back and she said, "Wow." She said, "You have the biggest angel standing behind you I've ever seen." And I'm like, "What?" And she says, "He's like huge. He's right there. He's behind you. I can see him clear as day." And I'm like, "I don't see anything. I don't feel anything." And she's like, "No, he's there. He's like this big giant angel. His wings are open and he's like right there." I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." And then she's describing him to me. And Jen gets out of the truck and comes back to meet us where we were standing. And as she walks up, she's like, Shari, did you know you have an angel standing behind you? Now, she didn't hear the conversation before that point. So that was like a confirmation of what Susan had said she saw, and then Jen walks up. She's like, hey, did you know you got an angel behind you? And I'm like, yeah, Susan just told me that. She's like, yeah, he's gorgeous. He's this big giant. And I mean, she starts describing the same exact thing. I was like, oh, wow, this is too wild. And hi, Terry. And I didn't say hi to anybody. I've been typing in the chat. Hello.
I've been trying to acknowledge everyone as they come in.
Yeah, I try to when I'm hosting, I try to make sure I say hello to everybody.
So if I can't verbally say it, I've been trying to put it on the screen. So
yeah, there you go.
So they know that I know that they're here.
Exactly. And so yeah, it just we moved in over here, and I decided okay, I'm gonna do this channel thing because everybody kept telling me you need to do the channel and you need to start reading, you need to, and meow and everything. And so I was like, well, make up your mind. And so it was just before Hurricane Ida hit this area. It was heading towards us. Excuse me a minute. No, ma'am. Go over there. And she likes to crawl and knock my camera off and everything. She wants to dance on the keyboard. No telling what happened then. Yeah, she's helping. Yeah. My familiar, who's gotten way too familiar with my computer. And I was watching Spirit Messenger Sheila, used to be Angel Feather Sheila,
Yes.
who's a sweetie. And she and Scott Allen were on a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I had popped into chat, and she saw me, and she was like, oh, Shari, is that hurricane coming towards you, or is it going in another direction? And I was like, well, for right now, it's kind of heading right for us, but we'll see what happens. They've been known to change direction at the last minute. And and I told her in chat, I said, I think I'm going to do a video blog. Every morning, go outside, record a minute, show the weather, show what we're doing to prep, do like the crazy weathermen do. Hurricane's coming, look. And Scott was like, oh, you have a channel? And I said, yeah, I just started it. He was like, okay, everybody stop what you're doing and go over to Shari's channel right now and go subscribe. I went from 2 subscribers to 40 something subscribers in like 15 minutes. Blew me away. I was like, oh my goodness, I got to put something up now. I got 40 people that signed up. And so, and at first I was very overwhelmed and intimidated by it. And then I thought I'll just do little baby steps, just a little bit at a time. And dancing on the keyboard sounds fun. Yeah, the last time she danced on my keyboard, she broke it. I had to go buy a new one, and it changes color. I got a backlit one.
It's blue like now, or it was when you.
Yeah, it goes from blue to teal to purple to pink to amber to red.
I enjoy purple.
And it just, I have it on the cycle. You can put it on just one color, or you can let it cycle through all the colors.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's a technical keyboard, so it goes tap, 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 tap when you're typing on it. It makes the noise, so I like it.
So, Shari, well, first let me say Scott is a sweetheart.
Yes.
And he's always very kind. Whenever I've been in his chat, and I still lurk a lot. So there are a lot of readers that don't know who I am because I don't say anything in the chat. But when I have participated in chat, and whenever Scott's been on, he's always very gracious. And that brings us up to your channelversary.
Right. So this will be a year coming up on the 20th. Technically on the 28th is, I think, when the first video went up. But that's on a Sunday, and it's like, no, I got to go to work the next day. That's not a good day to do something like this.
Right.
So I did it on the Saturday. And And I figured I'd start at 6 Central Time and just
Go till you
I
go.
may be done by 6:30 and I may not, so who knows?
You never know. So
And then I thought I'm just going to invite everybody that I've had any kind of interaction with that have either encouraged me or done a reading for me or invited me on their channel or anything, just blanket invitation. You're welcome to come on for as long as you like, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever. And I tried to, like I said, I tried to put the time so it was kind of in between the late afternoon people and the evening people that have shows regularly. I figured that way they could maybe pop in before or after their show if they want to. And I've had like over 20 people respond and say, yeah, I'll be there. And I'm like, oh my God, that really shocked me. I wasn't expecting that. I figured if 5 people said I'd come, I'd be happy. So I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. So have a party, I guess. I guess I should buy some balloons or something.
it will unfold as it should.
That's it. Maybe I'll get some balloon and streamers and let the cat have a party.
There you go. Well,
yeah, freak everybody out.
If you don't mind, we'll open it up and see if anyone would like a card.
Oh, absolutely.
Would like a card or has a question or would like to know what their guides are saying today or
whatever. I'm open.
I'm open to as long as let's keep it positive. Let's not go to dark places.
Yes, please.
Unless
I've had a busy enough day, I don't want to have to be like depressed.
Unless it turns into a conversation like we had on Thursday with Richie from Longman Tarot. And
right.
That was apparently a conversation we needed to have. Someone needed to hear that conversation. So I'm always open to something like that. Angela said she would love a card.
All right. Anything in particular or just whatever?
Just general.
Okay.
She just said a card, so I'm thinking general.
I can't just do one card. There's going to be a couple of them, so.
I usually have at least 2, and sometimes many more. So it depends on whatever the deck tells me to draw. Sometimes several decks. So.
Well, I have my Moonology deck that I'm using, and then this is my new favorite deck, is Native Spirit.
Native Spirit.
And it
looks like it's really nice.
It's a really cool deck. I really like it. And they're both oracles, so I like that a lot. And let's see here.
She told me that she read on you this morning, Swampy.
I'm swampy, but I'll do another reading if she wants.
Ron is here. Hi, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Traditional Love Tarot. Gee, Angela. I had some cards jump out, so we'll see what
There you go. There you go.
Hi, Ron. It's nice to see. Ron was my first guest on my first show, my first
Awesome.
So he was a brave soul that came in and allowed me to speak to him.
Ron is a sweetheart.
He is.
Absolutely adore him. I know when I first became a mod, Lisa just up and made me a mod on Nasty Women. And I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? She says, oh, just talk to Ron. He'll explain it to you.
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay. And I didn't know what a mod was. She's like, I'm throwing a wrench at you. And I'm like, don't hurt me.
At first, I didn't know what to do with it either, but I figured it out pretty quick. So.
Within like a week, I would go hop on somebody's live stream and I'd hop on and I would be blue with a wrench. And I'm like, when did I become a mod on this channel? I don't remember becoming a mod on this channel. Just, I guess, people got, just word of mouth, whatever. Oh, well, Shari can mod, so add her. And, and so now I think I finally got put on as one of Linda G's moderators. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I was like, well, I'm moving up in the world.
I thought I was moving up in the world when she said my name one time.
She did that the other day. She did a live stream and she started saying, and I want to thank all my moderators. And then she starts rattling off names. And I didn't think anything about it. And then suddenly she's saying my name. I'm like, oh, that's me, she's saying. Yeah.
Grun is here. Hello, Grun. It's nice to see you.
Hi, Grun. Is it just Grun or is it Gruen? I see the two little dots, so I don't know.
Is it Grun or is it Gruen? Tell us the pronunciation, honey.
I like to try to say it correctly because I grew up with nobody knowing how to say my name right.
I try to do that too. I try to say a name the way someone wants their name pronounced because that's their identity.
Exactly. And let's see here.
Are you ready? You still getting your story?
I'm still getting my story here.
Okay, I'm going to go then.
I pulled a card I hadn't pulled before, so I have to look it up because I'm like,
no. I had for Angela, I had 4 cards jump out. I had already drawn one, and then I had 4 jump out. So the one I drew was Guardian Angel. You are not alone.
Oh, I like that.
And then from the ones that came out first, Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within, which you're doing. Then the Lord, which is take care with authority, take charge with authority. Those pan antlers there.
I swear every time I see somebody with a new deck, it's like, I want that deck. I want that deck.
Right. Pan, or I can never say it right. This is just why I say pan. Ceranos, I think.
Oh, yeah,
It's
something like that. I can never
one,
pronounce it either.
The horned one. Then the sun. Enjoy success and happiness. So what you are doing is having success, and you know it is. Make plans and focus. So I'm thinking you're not alone. You have help with all of this, the making plans, taking charge, but just make sure that you enjoy what's coming and unlock what's inside of yourself. And I know that's what you're doing, that you are growing and growing.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Okay, my turn.
Yes, that's what I have.
All right, we're going to start out with ancestors, which is telling you that your wisdom is blossoming and growing. So as you become stronger in what you do, the wisdom is going to be there to help to guide you. And then it's followed with the white buffalo, which is abundance and security. Everything is flowing to you. It's flowing through that wisdom into you. And then I pulled the full moon in Gemini, which says the answers you need are coming. Followed up with the first quarter moon that says your commitment is being tested. So there are things that are testing you, but the answers are coming. You've got wisdom that's flowing. You've got security and blessings that are abundance that are coming to you. Yeah, girl, you got it. That's all good.
You got it going on, and you've got plenty of help. You are not alone.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I still can't believe I'm doing this for people. I mean,
did that resonate with you, Angela? No. So next we have Susan Beckett. And if I miss you, if you ask for a card or ask a question and I missed you, let me know because I'm old and I don't always see everything.
I said that to Gertrude this morning. She said something about, you just seem like you're just you. And I said, yeah, I'm short, fat, old, and gray. That's it. If you don't like it, go watch somebody else.
One time I was at work, I used to work at a cash register in a little burger joint, and it was the place where all the kids would go, if the high school kids would go. And so one day, or it was an evening, I was standing there, and I had very long gray hair at the time, and I kept it in braids. And the guy goes, "Is your hair gray?" And I said, "Yes." They looked like he was maybe 17 or 18, right? Yes. And he goes, "It's like you don't even care." I said, "I don't."
Oh my God. When I started getting gray, I started coloring it because I was very self-conscious. And then my hair decided, nope, we're not going to do that anymore. And so when they would do the rinse, the gray would be gray. The brown would turn whatever color I
Right.
put in, but the gray wouldn't. And so finally the hairdresser was like, okay, you got to give it up. It's not working anymore.
Right.
And now it's like I go in and they say, do you know how many young girls we have come in here that try to get us to color their hair your color?
Yes.
And now it's turning blonde. About a year ago, it started turning blonde on me. I'm like, all my life I wanted to be a blonde. I had to hit my 60s to achieve it.
Now that everybody's trying to have the hair the color that mine is naturally, I make mine purple. So yeah.
There you go. I have seriously thought about doing a purple or a blue or a purple, blue or green streak or something. Maybe for Mardi Gras this year, I'll do it. I'll do purple, green, and gold. Those are the Mardi Gras colors. So
That'll be fun.
and we'll see what happens.
And sing Karma Chameleon.
There you go. I like that.
It's red, green, and gold instead of purple. But, it's close. If you're ready, go ahead.
Let me see here. I want to check one other.
Yes, you certainly can. Melody of Annalie. I got you.
Okay.
What question would you like to ask? Ask it and I will star it.
Girls just want to have fun. You got that right, Swap.
That's right. Go ahead. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Okay. We're starting out with nature spirits.
Mhm.
It's joy, delight, carefree abandon, living wildly, living magically. That's all coming into your life now. And it's followed by the shapeshifter, which means that you can be anything you desire to be. The world is your oyster. Whatever you want to be, you can be that. I work at a university and I have to be careful sometimes. I get some of the young ladies that come in who come from cultures that are very dominantly male, and they're not happy in what they're studying or doing, but because daddy said and daddy's paying for it, they don't argue. And it became very difficult for me to not say, what, you can do anything you want to do. I'm like, no, I can't. No, I can't. So I have to be careful. But and to wrap it up, you've got the gibbous moon, says you're very close to achieving your goal, followed by the new moon that says a new start is coming. So girl, I mean, you got all this good, joyous, magical stuff coming. You got a new start coming. You're close to achieving your goals that you've got set. I say just go with the flow. Just ride that wave and follow your heart.
I got your question, Melody of Annalee. Susan, I kind of have what Shari had. I started out with, let's see if I can say this right. Therazad. She stands for rebellion.
Hold it up. Let me see. Up a little bit higher. Oh, okay. Farah Farahazad.
Therazad.
Farahazad. Yeah, because the H will be kind of a huh sound.
She
Whatever.
she stands for rebellion, independence, but you have to be careful that you don't let it lead you to isolation, because I also got Toni Morrison, who stands for power. Okay, standing in your power, claiming your power, power at play. And finally, I got the moon in this deck. This moon means mystery and learning change. So just don't isolate yourself. Stand in the power. Be rebellious, but stand in your power. And let the mystery unfold as it should.
Very good. Yeah.
So, Susan, I hope that was helpful. I think you have a rebellious streak. You like to be your own person, independent.
And I would say from that reading, oh, that's Susan we just read for. Never mind. I'm looking at somebody else's question.
Those cards are
Susan, right?
The literary witch, and it's a huge deck. So
wow.
all of the figures are female writers, and
how cool!
and then all of the other cards are like tools. They call them tools.
Yeah. You know what? Let me slide over here real quick.
I love the deck. I happened across it by chance at the metaphysical store. Finding her authentic voice, yes.
Here we go. I just got like poked to get another deck for whoever our next one is going to be. So
Susan said, wonderful cards. The isolation was on point. Very encouraging. Yes, I can be pretty strong-willed. Let it work for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Let it work for you.
My mom was a single parent. She raised 2 kids by herself in the 60s, and she always said her greatest accomplishment was that we both got a college education. I mean, and she had no more than a 10th grade education. So anything is possible.
Diana, oil painter, says she was just looking at that deck to buy.
Which deck that you got?
What does Gerald always say? Purchase responsibly, know your limits.
Well, it's like this deck here, the Native Spirit deck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember ordering it. I mean, I can go in and look in Amazon and I can see where I ordered it, but I don't remember doing it. I got up in the middle of the night because I bought it at like 2 a.m.
Wow.
And it was like, okay, I'm going to have to start like hiding my credit card before I go to bed at night. If I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and go buy shit that I can't afford to buy. He's like, I got it in the mail. And I'm like, I don't remember ordering this. Where did this come from? It was Amazon. I was like, I went and looked on Amazon, and sure enough, I'm the one that paid for it. I'm the one that ordered it in the middle of the damn night. So I was like, okay. I'm gonna have to put the kibosh on that, but I guess my native guides were like, "You don't have the right deck for us, dear." So
Joan B is here. Hello, Joan.
wait.
Joan, we're pulling cards. If you'd like one, just let me know.
Hi, Joan.
You. Susan said that's so funny.
Yeah, so if you start getting into and buying cards gets addictive. It's like I see somebody with a deck and they start showing them, I'm like, ooh, I want that deck. And another voice in my head tells me you need to finish learning the ones you've already got. And then evidently there's another voice that says, get up in the middle of the night and go buy that deck.
I'd be dangerous if I was able to do that. So
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm shuffled up.
got you, Joan.
Swampy. Right. Okay, Swampy. I did a moonology and a native spirit on you this morning. So we're now going to do Scott's Oracle deck, the extraterrestrial Oracle deck. He was on he was in chat. I was on a show with someone, and he was in the chat, and somebody said, have you seen Scott's decks? And I said, no. I said, but I would really like to get the Oracle deck. It's on my wish list. I said, I'm saving my pennies up for it. And then I get a message from him, says, send me your address. And he mailed me a copy. He mailed me a set of his cards. I was like, oh, bless your heart. That's just the kind of person he is, I really can't get over just how loving and caring the people in this community are. I mean, at times it almost doesn't feel real,
Andrea said your guides must be co-signers on your credit card.
Yeah, I have to do something. It's like, okay, guys, y'all gonna have to come start signing, or either that, or else start bringing in lots more money for me to spend. So,
one of my cards addresses that. At least one addresses that. So, I'm glad you said that.
yeah, I need to. I've been having talks with him, saying, okay, folks, y'all need to cough up more money for me somehow. Either something, something's got to give here.
Do you do the most benevolent outcome prayer?
I have started doing it since I saw Linda talking about it. So I'm waiting to see what my results are going to be. Because I still don't have a decent car. So we're still down to one car in this family. And
that's not good. That makes it
very expensive.
Inconvenient. Oil painter said, oil painter asked for a card, but Melody of Anna Lee said sleep shopping.
No.
Oh, and Andrea
I've never done that before. Sleepwalking. Yeah, but
Andrea said set limits with your guides.
That's it. It's like, dudes, I'm trying to pay off the credit cards. Let's not be adding to them.
Right. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
You want me to go? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First one says the divine feminine has your back with unconditional love. And you're going to need that because your next card said someone is betraying you. So there's something in your life that's just not meshing with what's going on. But then it ends with the reflection of your soul is the art of forgiving. So whoever it is that's in the betrayal mode, you're being told that it's a reflection on you to forgive, and it has nothing to do with them. And from the very beginning, it tells you the divine feminine has your back. You have unconditional love. And when you put unconditional love out, you will get unconditional love back.
Yes.
And that's what I've got for you.
Okay. Swampy, when you said that, let me find it again. Where is it? Aliens have been coming up for me lately. The first card I drew was Voodoo in Blue. Back
Oh.
off. That says back off. See?
I like
not
that card.
amused. But you are not amused. And then that I got Shallow Grave. You missed someone. The carnivorous flower fairy is tempting offer at a high price. So I think that it's got to do with the aliens. The high price has to do with the aliens. And that's why you're telling them to back off, to give you your space. You need to come at this the way you need to come at. You miss your brother. I'm sorry. So I drew a clarifier because I wasn't clear on what all of that meant. And what I got was the air guardian to shift your perception. So maybe you need to think a little bit outside the box. Look for a different way of assessing your situation. So this is very similar to the Hanged Man card. It's something that you need to maybe look at upside down to figure out what's the whole thing that you need to do to deal with. Not just the grief and missing your brother, but whatever this offer is, to consider it, count the cost. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? But if you need space, don't be afraid to tell them back off.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's your decision, not anybody else's.
I was very nervous about going to that funeral today because it's the first one I've been to since I've kind of opened the door to all of this and have started getting downloads and messages. And I was like, oh, please, I don't want to walk in there and I've got 20 dead people talking to me. I can't deal with that today. It's like, y'all stay away for now. So
divine wisdom. Count on the divine wisdom. That is an interesting point that you brought up. I have not been to a funeral since all of this. I had a family member who passed just before all of the COVID happened.
Yeah.
So I was not opened up at that time. So I have not been to one yet.
Yeah, it's been a while since I had been to one, and I hadn't really thought about it all week. And then yesterday, it just kind of hit me. It was like, oh man, this is going to be the first one I've gone to where that door is kind of like swinging wide open.
Right.
And come on in, let's have a party.
I
Show me
want
what you got to show me, and it's like,
to tell you, Swampy, just always, if you're not clear on something, ask your guides to tell you in a way that you understand, and keep asking them until you get it. They will let you know what they're trying to say.
Yeah. Or they will send things to let you know. I was telling Gertrude this morning about I was feeling kind of down. It was right around my husband's birthday. What would have been his 67th birthday. And I had gone, I didn't have my car that day. So when I went to lunch, I have a little stool in my office and I just bring it outside and I go get up back under the bushes and the trees up at the back of the building, kind of hide out of sight. and I sit and have my lunch, and I'm just sitting with nature and chilling out. And I was sitting there eating my lunch one day, and a movement caught the corner of my eye, and I looked over, and there was a squirrel in a tree about 10 feet from me, and it was about halfway up the trunk, and it was just hanging on, just looking at me like, this bit with its head, like it couldn't, trying to figure me out. I started talking to it, and it would like put its head like it was listening to what I was saying and trying to understand me. And so I spent 10 minutes talking to this damn squirrel hanging on a tree. And then it ran up the tree all of a sudden. And so I took what was left of my sandwich and I tossed it on the ground. And a couple of minutes went by and it came back down the tree, grabbed some of the stuff from the sandwich and then took off. But I got home and I was like, that was just the wildest thing. I mean, I don't think I'd ever had that happen where it was just there, just looking at me like he was trying to tell me something,
Right.
And I think it was just my husband trying to tell me, hey,
Probably.
you're good, don't worry. And then a few weeks ago, my son and I were sitting out on the patio smoking a cigarette, chit-chatting, and this beautiful black and gold monarch butterfly came flitting onto the patio and flying around his head and flying around me. And I've never seen a butterfly up close like that. Not one like that. I mean, it was breathtakingly beautiful. And it just flitted and flitted and flitted. It must have spent 5 minutes on the patio with us. And then it just like flew away. And I was like, wow, what was that? I mean, and it just kind of caught me completely off guard that this
Right.
butterfly just showed up, And so it's like, I guess spirit was, I don't know if it was for me or if it was for my son, because it kept flitting around his
Both.
head. And
Could have been both.
yeah, could have been. Or it
John-
happened in front of me so that I could interpret it for him. But
Right.
I didn't know I didn't hear the message. I just saw the butterfly.
Right. Shari, what did you do? Joan asked, what did you do to help open
I
yourself
just
up
started
to hearing
asking.
messages from
I
spirit?
just started asking.
And
I was like, okay, you're directing me down this path. I feel like this is what my whole life has been leading to. This is what I'm supposed to do. And it's the more involved I get, the more I read and learn, the more sure I am of that this is meant to be. But I had to go through all that other crap first before I could get there.
right.
And I just, it was, and at first it was like, I had people telling me, well, you're an empath. And I'm saying, yeah, I've had people tell me that before. And yeah, I can believe it because I feel people's emotions. And then I started having several people telling me, well, you're a medium. I'm like, don't tell me that. I don't want to have to deal with dead people. And they're like, no, you're a medium. You just haven't opened that door enough
Right.
yet for them to
You
come
have
through.
to consciously open some doors. And
Right.
also, just being involved in this community will open you up.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And so I just started asking, in my quiet time, I just started asking, okay, if you want me to do this and pursue this, then you're going to have to help me by showing me what it is I need to know. And it's like a lot of times I'll say, yeah, well, I hear him saying blah, blah, blah. I don't literally hear a voice. I just know something. It's like it's just there in my head.
Right.
1 minute I don't know it, the next minute I do. I don't know how it works.
And
It's just there.
you're getting suggestions to look up power animals for those experiences with the bird.
Yeah, I took that shamanic class with Danny Shea, and that was really cool. So I've been trying to work on that.
Joan, you can ask out loud and you can ask. They can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, whether if you just say it in your head or speak it out loud, I don't think it really matters.
Exactly.
I think it's just what's in your heart. What is your desire? And it's just my desire was, if this is what you want me to do,
But you'd have
then,
to ask.
then you
They
need
will
to,
not interfere in your life unless you ask. They
right,
won't, or unless you're about to get off your path.
exactly. I just started saying to him, okay, you're back up on the walls where I can see you every day as a visual reminder. We're here for you. I'm starting to know things again, just know them. A couple of times I've heard the voice, not the same voice I heard as a little girl, but I've heard a voice very clearly say to me yes or no, or tell them don't do that, or um, that kind of thing. But it's only happened a few times. And so I'm just waiting to see what happens next. And that's why when I got ready to go to that funeral today, I just, the thought hit me. It was like, what if, what if the spirits show up and say, oh, look, she's here. Let's go talk to her. I'm like, I don't want to like freak people out because I freak out. So I was like, let's not do that today, guys. let's be chill. All right.
Mary Ellen would like a card.
Hi, Mary Ellen. I don't think I've ever seen your name.
Mary Ellen Jenkinson. She's, well, I'm going to call her regular. I've seen her several times in my chat. I occasionally see her in other chats.
I guess I've just missed you. So many times I'm at work when I'm listening.
Our family is so big, you know, our soul tribe is growing all the time, and we love having everyone.
Yeah.
Hi, Christy. Christy Tobin is here.
Hi, Christy. And that's a name I know. Seen a lot.
Yeah.
She's sweet.
I'm getting some interference on my Wi-Fi, so hopefully we've got 3 more after this, and then I think we'll have to close it out because I don't know how long my I don't think I have a storm, but you never know. It's Texas. We could, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute.
That's the motto of Louisiana. You don't like the weather? Wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
It will.
Okay. You want me to go?
I'm ready. If you, or you can go.
All
either
right,
way.
Mary Ellen. First card. Believe what is right in front of you. Use your eyes, your ears, your senses. What you see, take it in. Like the squirrel in the tree and the butterfly on the patio. Accept it. Okay, that happened. I don't know why, but I'll figure it out. And
Hello,
then
Jenny's here.
a female ancestor is around you. So you have a female ancestor with you that's helping to guide you. And my feeling is she's also there to protect you. So, yeah, to guide and to protect you. And then I ended up with, if you don't listen, you can't resonate.
That's true.
So you have to, and this is one of my weaknesses, is shutting my brain off and just listening. Being still and quiet is the hardest thing for me to do. I'm a multitasker. I'm used to doing 50 trillion things at once. It takes time to get me to that point where I'm just mellowed out. So, and since I don't do drugs and I don't drink, I don't have a help in that department to get mellow. So,
right.
Well, I mean, I do drugs, but they're from the doctors, so it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. So, what I got, Mary Ellen, was that you're having a change happening. You may have had an offer recently that you don't like or that you're thinking about turning down, but you need to make plans on something. That think carefully about what's about to happen. And just for a clarifier, I pulled the Two of Wands. So whatever it is that you're making these plans for, that this change has happened, then you are about to see it come to a conclusion. You're about to uh, reap the reward. You're looking for it to come in. So I hope that's helpful. And I think
Hopefully
that
that resonated. Yeah.
we went pretty close to each other there. That was my card, and even the next card on the bottom is the Wheel of Fortune. So
It
it's something has ended and is coming. Something new is coming in, and all of the cards that I got pointed to that, and it's about to happen. It's the change, the shift has already happened, and whatever it is about to manifest itself.
Yeah. It
Thank
just
you.
amazes me how you can have 2 or 3 people reading. They're all using different decks. They all have their own talents.
Mhm.
And yet they get their cards and they start showing them up and they all go together.
Yes,
It's like, okay, yeah,
psychic bounce.
spirit is working through that. So
Melody, if Anna Lee wants to know if the next move
well,
will
that's a
be to
pendulum.
Florida.
Let's see here. Okay.
Um, that's
Getting
my
a fairly good yes there,
Are you
Melody.
getting a yes? I got to know. I got to
Yeah.
know, and that
Let's try
should
this one and see.
stay put instead of making a move. Let's get a clarifier here.
I'm getting a yes off of that one too. All right, third time's a charm. Let's see what this one's going to say.
Well,
I'm
that's
going to have 3 of them, so I like test them out against each other. It's like, okay, this one said this. Now what do you say? That one says no. Okay, so you got 2 yeses and a no. Let's pull a card. See what we get there.
my cards that I pulled are definitely. I got a Hanged Man and the Devil. So my pendulum said no. It said that you should stay where you are, and my cards said no. And Sherry's got 2 yeses and a no.
So maybe that just means wait a little while and see where it leads you. You know, give it a little time. Maybe
You're
it's
welcome, Mary Ellen. You're welcome.
maybe now is not the time.
Okay, you have to move. Grim got a no.
Okay, well, this is what I pulled. Fear will be
Nantucket.
the downfall. So, whatever your decision decides to do,
And
go into it 100%. Don't let fear
also, I want to
take you
just
down.
reiterate, for entertainment purposes only, we're just 2 women playing with cards. So this is your decision.
For
Also,
educational and inspirational purposes only.
only. Oh, okay. Melody. I got Stargazer for a clarifier. Set your sights higher. There's something better.
There you go.
I don't know what it is, but there's something better. So think carefully, have your guides help you, ask for it, and ask them what's better. What is better than moving to
And one
Florida?
more. It says mirror and archangel protection.
Yes. So ask for something better, ask what it is, and that you be shown clearly what it is, and don't forget to ask for protection. Mary Ellen said, my life is changing and I'm learning how to be still and listening to spirit. You are welcome. And that's
Yes, you are. You're
not an
very
easy thing to learn.
Mm-mm. Some people seem to do it effortlessly. Not for everybody.
Nope, not for everybody.
I struggle with it mightily.
You're welcome, Melody. Joan B would like a card. And I'm
Alrighty.
going to use these.
Shuffle you up some cards here. Let's see what we got.
I really did shuffle these.
All right. We're going to start out with learn daily, teach by experience. I love how in the eye it's the earth. So never stop learning and then teach what you learn. And experience is the best teacher. Oh, and at the top it says, you can't see that. It says, open your mind. I missed that part. So
Diana,
open your mind up.
I have you marked, Diana, and we'll
And then
try
I
to
pulled
squeeze you, Jenny.
an entity around you isn't for your highest good. So there may be one or two people in your life that aren't exactly doing and saying things for your best interest. So you need to be discerning in knowing when it is information that you need to just ignore. And ask spirit to help you, and it will. And it ended with use earth energy to ground yourself. Stay grounded. Something that I've been learning as I'm trying to learn to channel is it's very important that you have both feet firmly on the ground so that you're grounded, so that you have the energy of the earth flowing up through you. I had a reading from Mark, Spirit Whisperer, a couple weeks back. And he, in the middle of the reading, suddenly Pan and Dwaj Cole that he was channeling were telling him to tell me that I didn't need a third party to go between, that I could directly channel them myself. I was like, I can? Wow, that's kind of cool. And then he was like, yeah, he says, you just got to open your mind and let that flow, and they're going to talk to you.
Yes, and I kind of got the same thing. I got, you need to get a different perspective. Now look at this hanged one. At any time, they can get out of this, but they need to be in this position to be able to see from a different perspective. You've got to get out of your head, Get out of your head. These swords are not confining you. You just think they are. Break free. And finally, I got, because you are the Queen of Swords.
Oh, there you go.
Have everything you need. You don't need to rely on other people, other things. Get out of your head, look at it from a different point of view, and step into your power. Don't worry about those other people. Okay. Thank you for letting us read for you.
Very much so.
Diane?
I mean, I know y'all are getting a benefit for it, but especially for those that aren't readers, I don't know if you realize what a blessing it is that we get when you allow us to read for you, and the energy that fills us up when we go in and open up to try to hear what it is Spirit wants you to know. It's a double-edged sword in that respect, that we're both benefiting from this. So thank you very much for allowing us to do
That's
this.
spot on. Thank you for the advice. And
Energy read.
Diane, I would like an energy reading. And
Is that oil painter's name?
Diana,
Diana?
yes, it is. It's Diana.
Diane or Diana?
Diana.
Diana. Okay. See, there's a lot of people I just know by their YouTube name. I don't know what their real name is. Or they tell me, and I'm horrible with names. Forgive me right now. It's a mental block I've had all my life. People that are around me that I work with and stuff are now used to me calling them honey and darling and sweetie and boo and sugar, and it's because I can't remember names. My students get a kick out of it because I look at them and I go, okay, darling, well, why don't you do it? They're like, you forgot my name, didn't you? And I'm like, yeah. They get a kick out of it. So all right, Diana. New and full moon energy, hidden secrets. So to me, it just seems to be saying that you can draw your energy from both the new and the full moon. And whereas the new moon kind of darkens things up so it hides secrets, the full moon in all of its glory exposes secrets. So I would say that you need to embrace both the dark and the light with that. And then I got Starship Enterprise. Take charge. You got this. Enjoy the ride. Go hang out with Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk, And then the new moon in Taurus says prosperity lies ahead. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean monetary. It could be any kind of prosperity, the sky's the limit, and what can enrich your life and make you feel prosperous. So that's what I got.
First of all, I got Charlotte Perkins Gilman, and she represents freedom. There she is. And The next card was the braid, which represents the opinions of others, of freedom from the opinions of others, because you have the intellect. This is Ann Carson. She represents the intellect, and that is intellectual growth. You are growing by leaps and bounds. You continue to expand your mind. So you don't need the opinions of others because you have the freedom. You have the freedom. You don't need these other people to tell you anything.
Yep.
So stop listening to them. You know you're right.
And Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock are waiting for you. They're like, hop on, baby. We're going for a ride. You saw that Starship Enterprise. I mean, I don't know if that's what the picture was, but that's what it looked like to me. It just, the minute I saw it, that's the first thing that popped in my head was Starship Enterprise. These are the voyages of Starship Enterprise.
Right.
Or a 6-year mission or 5-year mission or whatever it was to boldly go where no man goes before us.
Exactly.
It's been on my mind a lot lately because we just lost Nichelle Nichols, who played Lieutenant
Yes.
Uhura.
We
And,
did, didn't we? And she was such a trailblazer. She was a
she was
trailblazer
the
for
first
women.
Black
Yes.
woman to be portrayed in a command position.
And she was fourth in command of that
Yes,
ship.
of that
She
ship.
outranked everybody except for 3 people.
Yep, exactly. And I don't think she realized that after the first year, okay, we're going to do a little bit of Star Trek trivia here. After the first year, she got an offer to go back to Broadway and do a dance thing because she was a dancer. And so she gave Gene Roddenberry her resignation.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, no, you can't leave. You don't understand. And she was like, I can't pass up this opportunity. Well, she had an event that she was attending that weekend, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was there.
What's there?
And he went up to her when, he went and sent somebody to tell her, you have a fan that wants to meet you and talk to you. And he came up to meet her and to tell her what a big fan he was of her and the show, and how it was the only TV show that he allowed his children to watch. And she was like, oh, well, that's so sweet. I'm getting ready to leave the show. I've got this offer for Broadway. And she said in an interview years later that he looked at her and said, no, you cannot do this.
Yes, she
You
did.
do not understand. You are fourth in command of the ship. No Black person, male or female, has been shown in a leadership position on a TV show ever in this country, or in a movie even.
Mm-mm.
He's like, you are setting trailblazing, breaking ceilings. I'm sure, you're setting the goal for tomorrow because of this role. You cannot walk away from it.
You're welcome, Diane.
And she was just so inspired by what he said to her that she went back to Gene Roddenberry on the Monday and said, can I take my resignation back? And he opened his drawer and he pulled it out. He'd never even opened it. He said, how was your dinner with Dr. King? And so she said, I knew at that point that he had let Dr. King know that I had resigned so that he could talk me into staying.
Well, and she was an inspiration for African Americans, for women, for
Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg said that when she was a little girl, that Star Trek was the first show where she saw that Black people survived into the future.
not
Because
only that,
every science fiction show up to that point, it was only white people or green and purple people, but there were no Black people.
exactly. And not only that, she was not in a subservient position.
Right.
She was an equal.
A leader.
She was an equal to the men on the deck.
Yeah. Who respected her.
Yes.
They would kid around with her and make fun with her. during lighthearted moments on the show, but when it was, in the within their world, their mindset, when things were serious, she was a voice of respect that they would listen to. What should we do? What do you think? How do we resolve this? And she was expected to give her expertise, and she was listened to.
And a
That was
valued member.
unheard of back then.
She was a valued member of
Yes,
that.
it was unheard of. Number one, because she was just a woman, and
Yeah.
women still were not, at that point in time, women still couldn't have a bank account in their own name
Exactly.
without a man co-signing it for them.
Couldn't
They couldn't
own
have a credit
property.
card in their own name.
Couldn't
They
own
couldn't
property.
buy a house or rent a house in their own name. Something that our daughters and granddaughters cannot comprehend,
I know.
and it's like, yeah, I remember those days well.
I do
mean,
too. I remember too.
I remember the struggles my mom went through as a single woman with 2 kids, and the assumptions that were made,
Yeah.
and disparaging remarks that she would have to deal with. So yeah, it's
She was an important, valued member of not only that show, but on that bridge. She was.
yeah, the character was an equal. The actress was treated as an
As an
equal.
equal.
None of the other actors looked down upon her or treated her as if she was less than. That she'd said that in interviews, that they all treated her with the greatest respect. And Jean would listen to her if she had an idea, or if she felt something wasn't what Uhura would do, or that Uhura would do that instead. He would listen to her, and he would make whoever was the director that week, he would make them listen to her.
Yes. Okay, here's our last question.
Yeah.
Jenny Strauch has this question. I'm seeing butterflies every day all over the place. Are they trying to tell me something, or is it just dumb luck? I don't think it's dumb luck.
Oh, honey, Spirit is talking to you, trying to get your attention.
Absolutely.
I had a butterfly experience. I know it's like, wow, when it happens. Let's see.
So while Shari gets together, because I already have my cards, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I've got, because
Yes, I went down the Star Trek memory lane. Sorry.
that's all right. That's all right. She was one of my heroes. So I got the Shaolin Master. Be graceful in movement and action. Okay, so the butterfly definitely symbolizes that. To be graceful. Now he's holding a praying mantis, but we could easily see that be a butterfly. Then I got the sage, to be devoted and committed to whatever you're pursuing. But the last card I got, this is the important one. Wait for important information. So something is coming your way. There is something, and I sense that it's a spiritual message more than a physical message. And you see, she's in her practice here. She's in meditation. And so it's a spiritual message. And I'm thinking it might even be a message from a loved one. Part of the message is to be devoted and committed. I know that much. And it has to do with grace. Is that divine grace? Is it grace coming from an ancestor? I don't know. But what I do know is that something wonderful is about to reveal itself to you. And that's what I got, Jenny.
Oh boy, do I have a message for you. Double checking. All right. We are starting with walking in beauty. This means that you're to realize that you are beautiful inside and out. That no matter what your age, your grace is growing. You're becoming more in balance. As you walk in beauty and feel the gratitude for it, your life will be filled with immense splendor. Whenever you can, spend time in natural, wild spaces. Butterflies aren't normal to be seen. I mean, I was just about it earlier, it blew me away when it happened to me. I was like, oh my God, this is a butterfly. So, yeah. And then we've got Spirit Keeper of the South, which talks about abundance and prosperity in all of its forms, expansion, surging energy, rapid growth. It's saying, this is saying to you to be open to the bounty of the universe and what the universe has for you. Just stay open to that. And it ended with elder, which means confidence. You're entering into your power. You standing strong. You're a leader. Step out into the light. Let your truth be heard and felt by others. Make a stand and understand that you carry that deep inner wisdom. You're a teacher and a leader in the deepest sense of the word, and you're a beacon for others. So shine your light, darling. It's time for everybody to know it. And that's what I got for you. And look at that face. Look at that face.
Where's my monkey boy?
I'm telling you, hi, baby.
He's a good
Oh
baby.
my God, he's so precious. He is so precious.
He's my new rescue. He's a little bit frightened of things, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he likes to sit up here with me while I'm doing things.
Oh, they draw energy from it.
Yeah.
When Mark gave me that reading, when I won that reading from Mark, the minute he started officially doing the reading, the kitten jumped up and literally like curled up next to my heart and sat and watched him the whole time. She didn't move. She didn't try to scratch or bite or wiggle around. No, she was like just glued watching him. I was like, okay. Pan's talking to her too, and she's hearing him, So that was kind of cool.
Well, beautiful beings, we have been here for a while, and I want to be mindful of everybody's time. I know there are lots of lives to catch today, and I appreciate you coming and being with us for the time that we've spent here. I want to thank Shari for being here on my channel, and congratulations on your channelversary. Be sure
to see you there.
and check out her channel. Subscribe if you haven't. And when is your channelversary celebration?
The 27th.
All right.
Not next Saturday, but the Saturday after.
Be there or be square.
I've got, let's see, Wednesday the 17th is Mandy, Divine Feminine.
Cool. Yeah, I know Mandy.
It'll be her first anniversary, but she's going to be on Jay's channel during the day. So I told her, I said, well, when I go to lunch, I'll sneak outside and I'll pop on the channel real quick so I can spend a couple of minutes with you. And And then I have I'm going to be a guest on Gerald's channel, Terror Stash, on the 22nd.
Oh,
And,
cool. I'm going to be on Gerald's channel on the 23rd.
Yep, there you go. You know, I
And
remember he said he had several people lined up back to back. And
he always does. He's so busy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be contacting him. I don't have anything set up for my channel right now, but so stay tuned. You'll be hearing from me. I'm going to be
give
contacting
Amy Smiling Heart. I forget how her channel goes. She's eager to go on people's channels and read with them. I talked to her yesterday, and she was like, "Yeah, if you know anybody that looking for somebody to read,
I will.
I'll
See
send
if
you
I
her
can
email.
figure out how to contact her.
Send her email to you. And
I'm going to
you're
be
welcome, Diana.
NASA, and Diana is the goddess of the moon. You are so right.
Yeah, wow, I didn't even think about that. You know, I did a show with Jeffrey from Ripe Color where the entire show was about the Hanged Man. He's doing a thing where every show is a different card with another reader to just like have a full out, fleshed out discussion. And we did the Hanged Man, and I learned so much of what the card represents. It was completely not what I thought it represented, you know. But I have a blast with him. So
I love to get new perspectives on things. So, is Wildflower Wind is here? I didn't see you come in. There she is.
Hi, Wildflower.
Lovely to see you. I'm sorry that we're leaving.
You'll have to watch the replay.
That's what the replay is for. That's what the replay
share and subscribe.
So thank you all very much, beautiful beings, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much, Shari. And until next time.
Bye, y'all. Hugs and kisses.